Hello. Hi, my name's Ollie and this is Bookdraw, and for those of you who don't know what Bookdraw is, I basically talk about different queer fiction which I enjoy reading, and you can take part by using the hashtag Bookdraw on any social platform. I also have a Facebook group where I upload quotes about the book. I also show a bit of book art as well in terms of the front covers. So if you're interested in any of that, you can check that out on the Facebook group. There's also those daily quotes which you can look and see in a little bit more detail about the book and why I enjoy it so much. Additionally, I also have an Instagram account, and on there I upload works in progress, so you can have a little bit of an insight in terms of how I develop pictures and also what other books are up and coming. I'm going to be looking at another 3 books, and this video is just introducing them. I decided, because I've been doing this for a little while now, I've just been looking at books in isolation, and the next 3 I'm going to try and look at in theme, and the theme that I'm choosing is faith. So just in terms of a disclosure about me, I would describe myself as someone who's agnostic. I don't have a particular religion that I identify with personally, but I also hope that when I'm dead, I don't just become worm food. I hope there's a little bit beyond that, or I change or turn into something else, or I'm around, or I don't really know. And I'm kind of comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with not knowing. Are you comfortable with not knowing what happens when you die? I don't know, but for me, religion is something that I've kind of removed myself from, just because I don't know, and there's nothing that's made me really go, I believe solely in that. I'm just looking at this in terms of how faith has a relationship with sexual identity and gender identity, and some of these books explore bits of those themes in relation to faith. So, kicking off with Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. I love this book particularly because it's a northern-based writer, which just brings it a bit closer to home for me. I think this book in particular is interesting because for a lot of people, I think they relate to the tensions in the relationship between mother and daughter. I mean, I personally have a very good relationship with my mum. I love my mum, but in this book, she clearly loves and respects her mum, but she also does not believe everything that she's being told by her, and it directly crosses her in terms of the fact that she's in love with other women, and how her mother reacts to that and the tensions that it causes is part of the focus in the story. This has more fantastical elements where she uses fairy tales to help her deal with the challenges that she faces with the relationships that she's surrounded by, and that informs how she makes decisions. The next one is If You Could Be Mine by Sarah Farrison. Now this is my only experience or knowledge of Iranian culture. I literally don't have any other knowledge really, I'd say, outside of this book. So this was really educational for me in a lot of sense, being introduced to that kind of cultural climate of a young lesbian woman who is in love with this other girl who's about to be married to a cisgendered man. He looks at the only way in which they could have a relationship by changing her gender. And so it's grappling with both gender identity and sexual identity. That was something that I've never come across, and when I was first reading it I was like, seriously? Is she considering changing her gender just so that she can have a relationship with this woman? So it's dealing with some quite complicated issues, but what I also really enjoyed about the story is actually having an insight to what it might be like to live in Iran, and it talks about a lot of food and culture that's available there, and it made me Google a lot. The third one, which has kind of just come last minute to me, I went to an event for LGBT History Month, and there was a talk by Dr. Pearl, who looks at AIDS literature, and she did a bit of a short reading from this book. It's not hers. This is by Rabbi Alamendine, and this is called The Angel of History. And this book looks at the crossover between Christianity and the Quran. It focuses on a single night of Jacob or Jake, depending on how it was diluted over his time. He's born in Yemen, and then he goes over to San Francisco during the height of the AIDS crisis, and it's his reflection on that period of his life. He talks about his past and his present, and how AIDS has been altered and erased through history, but also how he feels, and the resentment and the anger and the frustration, and the way people don't fully understand what it was like to live during that time. So those are the 3 books that I'm concentrating on at the moment, and they will be coming up over the next few weeks. I don't know if you've read them. If you have, let me know what you think. I'm particularly interested in the Angel of History because I'm still in the process of reading that right now, so it'd be really interesting to find out your views. Please follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and check out the blog. Yeah, hopefully I will see you soon. Okay, bye. Cheers. Cheers. Bye.